Welcome back, Tribe. Checking out this guy's channel, Going Solo. He's only got 12,000 subs. He says, society is toxic now. Walking away from everyone, including my dad. All right.
Comment under a video. And what this video was about a guy talking about how he'd been annoyed by something his barber had said. And he drew a line under his relationship with his barber after being a customer of his for like 15 years. And quite an interesting video, and I left a comment. And yeah, this comment is kind of strange, really, because I wrote it and I'm not sure I actually believe what I said, even though it had quite a good reaction. And someone else left an interesting comment under mine. And it was regarding drawing lines under people. And the reason I'm talking about it is because this last couple of weeks I've had a couple of letters from my water company. And I spoke about it in one of my last videos. And yeah, I've received a letter from my water company saying that I'd not paid the bill. And then I did pay the bill. And even though I paid the bill, a couple of weeks later, I got another letter saying that I'd not paid the bill. And then each time they sent me a letter, the charges were going up. First one was €4 charge, then it was €13 charge. And I got to thinking, this is the basis of this video, really. I got to thinking, I don't need you, water company. And in my head, I was thinking, I'll save my own water. I'll just collect the water off my roof and I'll do away with you. And that reaction was quite interesting. And I've been thinking about it over the last few days. Why did I react like that? And yeah, going back to this video, if you watch the video, I'll leave a link in the description. His point
Big war.
is making that we walk away from things really, really easily. And we get annoyed by things. And we draw lines under people without even thinking about it. When I first moved here, I came here with a clean sheet, if you like. I knew no one here. I knew nothing about anything in France whatsoever. So there was nothing to annoy me, and I didn't need to judge anyone. I had no reason to judge anyone for any past issues. And yeah, my clean sheet of paper has gradually, over the last couple of years, had some notes written down on it.
Nice plot of land, bro.
And there's now a few situations have occurred over the last nearly 3 years that now I am judging people. And yeah, I'm starting to question myself, actually. Like I said, my reaction to that charge from the water company, my reaction was to retreat, to walk away. And I've actually been doing a bit of thinking about this, because I actually walked away from the UK because, well, various reasons. I could make a video about just those reasons. But my reaction to retreating and walking away was quite interesting. And I got to thinking about a couple of situations. As it's Sunday, I've come down to my little nature reserve. It's absolutely gorgeous today. Mm-hmm. It's a good place to enjoy a bit of nature and watch the world go by. So back in 1996, so almost 30 years ago, I went to the pub with my new girlfriend. Say pub, it was a sports bar. And that night was going to be a boxing match on the big screen. And I remember the bar was absolutely chock-a-block packed. And it was a great night. And, well, I say it was a great night. Not long after I arrived, I spotted my dad. My dad, wow. Not a nice person. Not a great person.
Damn.
Not a great father. And very selfish. And there'd been issues between me and him and my the rest of my family for years. And he was in the bar. And I remember I'll never forget it for as long as I live. I saw him and I gestured him over. As I say, the place was very busy and the fight was about to start. And I
What?
gestured him over to come and meet my new girlfriend, who was absolutely beautiful. And we were together for, I think, 6 years we were together. And anyway, I gestured him over. And he went, no, I'm watching the fight.
Are you kidding me?
And that was...
What, dude? Who's fault? That sounds like an insane situation. First of all, your dad is at the bar alone. That's already weird. Dude, growing up in a traditional family, I couldn't even imagine that situation happening. It would feel so weird for my father not to have my mother around him. He's just out there soloing it up in the bars. And then on top of that, you're out there with your lady and you just, oh yeah, there's my dad. You know, he's kind of a wild man, I guess. We're not really that close, but you know, let me get him over here to say hello. And he's like, nah, son, fuck that shit. The game is on. What? I wonder what the damage is for a man growing up with no father versus bad father. Like, is a bad father still like marginally better than no father at all? Or is it better just to not even have a father if your father is going to be bad and horrendous to you? I don't know. That's, I wonder if they've done a study on that.
That was the last time I spoke to him. And that was nearly 30 years ago.
What the hell?
And there's definitely a pattern emerging. And it's not until you actually stop and take some stock of your life and actually think about these things, you kind of realise that there's a pattern in how I react to things and how I deal with things. And it's quite fascinating. I'd like to hear from my viewers, actually. Yeah. Do you walk away from things? Do you try and make the best of a situation? I've got a relative who, no matter what someone does to them, no matter what they say, no matter how badly they're treated, they will always be part of that person's life. They will always be their friend or be friendly. Whereas if I'm done wrong by, I draw a line under them and I look to walk away. And yeah, as I say, I came to France with...
I think the people that stay in those situations that constantly get used and abused are the ones that have abandonment issues, probably stemming from childhood too. But most people, healthily, I think, should draw a line under people, have boundaries that you don't allow people to cross for your own mental health. Because if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. Really, humans are greedy in nature, and it takes a lot of self-work to try to be a bit more selfless and giving, and that includes friendships too. That's why it's really hard to make a real decent friend, a genuine person you would call, for example, as a man, a brother, right? A life friend that you have for life, your brother. And, well, just ask women how hard it is to make friends, genuine friends. It's almost impossible because women are so competitive and catty and always angling for each other's men and shit like that. It's insane.
Not quite sure what sort of expectation of what life was going to be like here, but I came here with a clean sheet of paper. No one had annoyed me. I knew no one, had no experience with French companies, and I was just going to absorb it and not judge negatively anyway.
Damn, he's got a lot of
Now,
land.
I thought what that water company did, adding a charge every 2 weeks to a letter that he sent you to remind you that you'd not paid the bill, I thought that was kind of nasty. And it could be an ongoing pattern that we see with big corporations. And yeah, I thought that was nasty and vindictive. And I think it was the nastiness and the vindictiveness that made me want to leave their company and maybe save my own water, which I might. It might make quite an interesting project for the channel. But I can't deal with nasty people and vindictive people. But you can't escape them, can you?
I can feel the mosquitoes there in the summer.
What this guy's video was about was how he realised that, yeah, the barber had ruffled his feathers and annoyed him. He went to another barber that also ruffled his feathers, and it made him think maybe it's him doing the ruffling of the feathers, and he's just...
No, you got to hold on to a good barber, boys. It's hard to really find one. And if you do, consistent too. A good barber is consistent. I've had barbers that were really good on one occasion alone, and then the next time you go, super inconsistent, the cut sucks. It's once you get a good barber, that number is getting saved. That's the only place you go for as long as that dude's cutting hair. Because you don't want to leave a barber with fucked up hair, bro. That'll fuck up your confidence. That'll fuck up your energy, your mood. You'll, yeah. Especially if you're single and you're out there hunting. Bro, having a fresh cut changes everything. Your aura is completely different. You turn into a new man. You come out there with a fucked up haircut or some crooked shit, or like the fade is looking garbage, something. Your hair's fucked up. You don't even want to leave the house, bro. You put on the baseball cap and you're just like you're looking like a criminal and shit. You're just in and out of places and you don't want to be seen. Yeah. Treat your barber right. Show some respect. And likewise, they'll do the same.
Just, not dealing with it very well, which I'm probably the same. Maybe we all are. He goes on to say that we're all flawed, aren't we? And he went back to his original barber after a few months, and that guy was pleased to see him. There was no malice. He didn't even realise there was an issue. It had all gone on inside his head. Yeah, he believed there was an issue and a falling out, when really there wasn't. It was just in his mind. Now, I used to do some volunteering, and because of nasty, vindictive people, I no longer do that volunteering.
That's a shame.
It was a place where there were some lovely people doing lovely things. But as I always say, it only takes one person to shit in your soup to ruin your dinner. And yeah, there was a handful of people that shit in my soup every week, no matter how hard I worked, how much sweat, how much effort I put in. It was never going to be enough. So now I can't even bring myself to go to the place. And yeah, I've drawn a line under it. I can't deal with that nastiness or toxicity in my life. I think I'm too old for it. There's lots of things.
That's such a thing with men. When they get old, that's when they start to drop out. I have this like theory that the old, bitter, grumpy man is what used to be a really nice guy pushover that used to let people walk all over him. And then as they got older and older, you get to this point where you stop caring because your life is shortening really quickly. Things start to compound. You may lose loved ones. Your kids move out. You're by yourself, no wife anymore or whatever. And you're just on a huge ass fucking plot land like this potentially. And, it's the get off my lawn energy because you're tired, dude. You hit a breaking point. And the mentality of I'm too old for this shit. I don't want to live the rest of my life being a pushover and a nice guy. I think that's how the grumpy old man shit starts. Because you have super happy old dudes, absolutely carefree, very good energy, very positive, and then you have the complete opposite of them. And I've spoken to a few, and they all seem to have this issue as they worked really hard to be nice, to be liked, right, to give people things, and they've been screwed over constantly, and then it builds up. Resentment and bitterness and, that anger that you get when you finally are like done and the line snaps and now fuck it. I don't want to deal with nobody, nothing, no one. Get off my lawn kind of shit. I don't know. For the older dudes that watch this channel, let me know if that's accurate or not. I'm actually curious. I walked away with a clean sheet. The first night there, I shit the bed. Okay. Moving doesn't help. This is so true. People are miserable all over the world. The trick is to not take them seriously. Also, don't take yourself seriously. That applies to happiness too. So like I've gotten the good fortune of moving around the United States, being in Eastern Europe and traveling a lot in the past 5 years. And I can tell you, you'll bring the misery with you. If you're a miserable person, nowhere is going to save you. There is a certain transformation you can undergo in terms of your mentality. If you go from somewhere cold, gray, and foggy all the time, say like the UK, into something extremely opposite of that, like Arizona, where it's like hot or at least warm, sunny every single day, beautiful, clean air and all that stuff. That will affect your mood. For the most, I think if you're not happy internally and you don't figure out what makes you happy, hobbies, things, goals that you want to pursue that can give you some purpose, changing the environment doesn't change how you feel inside. And depending on people to change where you move, for example, won't matter either, because there's this weird effect, guys. There is an energy exchange when you say hello to somebody and you're in a good mood with good mood with a bright smile, and they reflect good energy back to you, even if they're not feeling that way. But if you're in a miserable state and you speak to people in that state, then people will kind of reflect that same energy back at you. So you can carry, it's like if you could imagine a dark cloud over your head constantly raining on you, and all you're doing is walking to different places in the world, but the dark cloud is still above your head. Kind of like how you would want to imagine it. So you can make wherever you are a better place just on the energy you're outputting. It's hard though, because obviously the cloud's over your head. And this guy says, I had people walk away from me in the past because of my stupidity, but conversely, I have a habit of hanging around too long in toxic situations and allowing myself to be treated poorly, you see, until it's way too past normal people's boundaries. And only then do I walk away. I walked away much sooner for the first time about a year ago when an old friend and I started to communicate again after a decade. Sheesh. But then there was a couple episodes of verbal abuse from him, and forgiving him the first time, I could see that was probably going to turn into a pattern. So I told him I'm not going to be spoken to like that and walked away. I'm at the age 53 where I'm no longer willing to invest into people who are disrespectful towards me, especially if that's becoming habitual. I know it's part of related to me not being great at setting boundaries. There it is, but I'm still learning that. Yeah. So that's what you need to learn, guys. No longer willing to invest time into people who are disrespectful towards you. You'll be much happier that way. Sure, in the beginning, maybe much lonelier because you're going to find you're surrounded by people you never should have been surrounded by, but simply for not having boundaries. This is how people end up with those like nasty friend groups where all they do is really beat you down. They're super negative. You're practically getting bullied. They don't respect you. All that shit is you not having the boundaries to tell them to fuck off. Once you do, you'll find some real friends. Hopefully, if you're a young dude watching this, you're still in, I don't know, high school or in college where you're surrounded by people, and making friends is much easier than post-college. Believe me. People are very much so set in their ways in friend groups post-college, unless you go out there and actually be active in trying to get friends, like go to motorcycle clubs, hiking clubs, rock climbing clubs, MMA gyms, stuff like that. You'll make friends. But genuinely, the best time to do it is in college, where you're forced to go into an environment where everybody's there learning. Nobody knows each other, and, making a connection is very simple. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. As usual, boys, we'll see you on the next one. Sub to the second channel if you haven't. Drop a comment saying boundaries if you watched to the end here. I know the channel's getting suppressed, but apparently that stupid comment farming shit works for some reason. And, help break us out of the mean suppression that YouTube likes. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.